Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things, and I have the last paper pumpkin of 2023. I have been busy with the Christmas holiday stuff, so I have no idea what is inside this box. The title is All the Best. And oh, it's very pretty. I like the stamps. We'll just set them right here. Our spot is Pebbled Path, and the stamp set is Hello Friend, wishing you all the best, 1,000 good luck wishes, dandelion, another dandelion sprig, and then the little individual dandelion fluff that blows away. So we have a standard tissue color this time. I hope everyone is doing well with the holidays, which are just around the corner. And this is very pretty, cheerful spring colors I see. And we have some light blue dots. We've had a cold snap here, actually a couple of them now, and today is going to be 70, so it's finally warmed up a little bit. We had the heat kick on. I think we've had our heat kick on 3 times so far this month. So we've got some tear and tape, dimensionals, like I said, the lovely light blue drops, a set of 8 envelopes, all the same, nothing on the inside, some salt watercolor treatment, and some watercolor flowers. And we have more than one design. Here we have some lovely square gold foil edged die cuts. All right, so it looks like, oh, probably we only have one. No. Okay, I see what's happening. We have 3 with the line of flowers. Maybe we have more envelopes than I thought, because with 3 of each design, that would be 9 envelopes. Watercolor, this can go either way. I love that the designs are front and back, so I can cut them in half. And then we have this lovely oval floral dandelion, and then the light blue back. So there are indeed 9 bases total. This is, so this is a full sheet, which of course I immediately look at it and say, I want to, as much as I can, cut it down the middle. I want to see. Yep, it looks like it can be cut down the middle and not impede too close to either of the floral elements. So that will double these and give you 6 instead of 3. We have more gold foil die cuts. These are, looks like we have the banner, circles. So all together, if this is off the screen, we have squares, circles, and banners. We have a little gift box, I see, and the wrap for around the gift box, and then some more floral die cuts. All right, so I already have my ideas starting to float around in my head. I am going to go away now and do some planning. I will come back if I have any prep tips, supplies, Then we will dig into some mix and matching, and then of course I'll have the showcase at the end. So stay tuned. All right, I am back. I've got some supplies. I'm trying to keep it pretty simple. I feel that this kit has enough variety of items in it that it doesn't need a lot to stretch it out. I went ahead and did the basic cuts to the bases to get double, which is 18. I have not cut them, well, one of them I did cut as an example of cutting them even into smaller pieces as an option. I've got added supplies, and again, I tried not to go crazy with added supplies. So I want to do a couple of demos. So the first thing I want to share is the supplies that I have that I think pair nicely with this kit. So starting with the trims, I have any of the white trims that you may have. I have a demo on how to make this chunky white work better. I use the ombre balmy blue as is. This is the variegated ribbon, and the white is the herringbone ribbon. It is a 3/4 inch ribbon. I pulled out the baker's twine in the blue for this is the 2022 to 2024 in colors. Then I have the very old, so old I've used up the newer on a spool style linen thread. So this is all I have left, which is an original old Stampin' Up. They used to use a card rather than the roll. And then I even have some other threads that, oh, I don't even have it out. There's a 3/4 inch natural ribbon that goes with the linen thread nicely. And I have a treatment. I'm going to show you how that works. There's also the textured ribbon in the various the 2023 to 2025 in colors, and this makes a nice trim. It's a little bit on the chunky side, not too chunky, but I went ahead and left it as it is, and I made it in a knot, and then I grabbed a attacher, a stapler, and I did, you know, like a cancer awareness ribbon shape. So we have this pile of dies, and to supplement the dies, I went with just one floral set. There are so many floral sets with floral dies, so I just decided to keep it to one, just to show you how you can enhance the provided die cuts. So they're both cut from the same set. It is called Dainty Delight. So I cut the dandelion type flower element from vellum, and you could use white. I think white would be very sweet as well. I then did a long green that I used garden green, and this is in 2 pieces, and then I have a longer piece here. It's a very large die, so I think it could easily be cut in half like I did with it. And see, I think that it goes nicely nestled behind any of these dies. And of course, this works really well with these circles. So I did not go for any smaller sentiments. I just took so much photography already. I wanted to see if I was going to run into trouble coming up with enough varying designs with the 3 different large shaped sentiment labels. But I had no problems with coming up with designs, so I did not extend to any other sentiments. I did do some stamping for this. I will do some mix and matching with the stamping that I did. This set, the stamp set specifically, is just a really nice stamp set. I like I guess I'd call it modern, but it's just a nice cursive, like a brush stroke cursive with a sans serif, smaller subtext, so it's a mixed font with the 3 different sentiments, and so I just stuck with those because I think that they are enough to make this into 18 cards very easily. So my first demo, I just want to reiterate that with this white, what I would be doing with it is I cut it into 3 strips. So these are my 3 strips. I am totally happy with the little hanging bits. It just adds more interest. And I wanted to show very quickly that you can color this. I have Daffodil Delight. I have a finished trim in the light, so I'm going to do the dark for you to see. Oh, you're not even seeing what I've got. So I've got these 2 non-colored chunks. I go for about 12 inches, and I just eyeball it. I don't measure. I just kind of wing it. My theory is I'd rather have it be a little bit longer. Sometimes I do like a really chunky bow with the long tendrils, and then because of the large size of the sentiments, if I need to cut them down, the tails, I would rather have to cut the tails down than have them be too short and want them longer. So I kind of always do the longer bow first. So here's what I've got with the dark. You can choose to make it kind of ombre, distressed looking, or you can flip it over like I'm doing and do both sides. Again, this is the blends markers that I am using. There's the alcohol markers, which do a very nice job. And I have had the Daffodil Delight blends for the whole time they've been available. So I did go through, we had a sale, the Thanksgiving sale included paper, and I think it was inks and markers. So I went through and I tested every single marker, and I had 4 markers that needed replaced. They are the ones I use the most. It was, I believe it was red, so real red, dark and light, and they come in the set, though they didn't originally, and I bought both light and dark from the start. Crumb Cake needed to be replaced. I've already replaced Old Olive, and there were 2 other colors. I'm looking over here. The best way for me to tell. And I put them, so I went ahead and kept the 4 colors, rubber banded them together because you never know, I might need the caps for something. So, oh yeah, Balmy Blue is another one, and I can't remember the 4th one. So Balmy Blue, I do sky work, and so I tend to wear that one out. So this is officially the first time that I have repurchased these markers. They are not markers with refills, so the body, it's not like you can redo the ink in them. So once they wear out, they need to be just tossed, or in my case, saved in case the caps are needed. I could just save the caps, I suppose. I was looking for, oh, sorry, I hit the tripod. I want the color. Tahitian Tide is the color of this. And again, it's a set of 5 baker's twine. And I just made a cute double bow for it. So I have now colored this, and it has sat for a few seconds. And now I'm going to show you my fancy bow. Here it is. And I used 2 linen threads, 2 of the Tahitian Tide, 1 white and 1 light Daffodil Delight, and then you'll see all of the extra threads hanging out, and I like that look. You can clean them off if you don't like that look, and then you can choose which side to use. I chose the other side, and you can play around with the loops. The way that this works, and I will show you, I made a little jig that, because I don't have a jig, I bought the wood to make a jig, and then I bought a temporary jig to use, and my husband has yet to cut it for me, put the holes in for the dowels. So you can use either side of this, whichever you prefer. I was going more for the white side, but as I do my photography, I will probably flip it because the other side with the yellow showing has a different look to it. And I bought a piece of floral foam. I bought pumpkins during the Thanksgiving sale. This is all from the Dollar Tree. So I bought three items on picks. I picked the ones that had the sturdiest picks. One was a pumpkin that was knit in light blue to go with my current decor that I have for Thanksgiving. And then I picked 2 trees that were flannel fabric trees with puffy trees, and they had the biggest sticks, and so I gave 1 stick to my husband, so he cut all these in half, and I gave 1 stick for him to take the wood plaque that I bought to have the little holes you see here. He's going to drill those into the wood. So this piece of foam is floral foam. It's $1.25. The Dollar Tree is no longer the Dollar Tree. It's the $1.25 tree, actually. And then when I put these in, they didn't stay well, so I used some hot glue to glue these down so they're fixed. Then I got the idea for, rather than moving the sticks, because I put the 5 or 6 holes, but I can't really move them now that I've glued them in. So I've got a small bow here, and these come out. And then I put a bigger bow on this side. So then I have my 3 sizes of bows. I left the protective covering on with the label because I didn't want to get foam on anything, because the white foam, if it's not protected, will probably slough off a little bit, and I didn't want that. So with this particular jig, I have some extra pieces here. I've got a white. This is a 7/8 linen trim. It might be something natural. Let's see if I have it handy. I do have it handy. It is called Natural Finish Ribbon, and it is again 7/8. And what I do with these is I try to start my ribbon and I leave the protective clear on, because it just keeps these from unrolling. I have this problem on any of them that don't have the protective cover. I don't use pins to hold them in place because I'm worried about rusting, being in Florida, which is high humidity. So I just leave the clear on where I can. So here's one, also the white here, that I left the clear, and that seems to work well for me. I have this denim, which is another option that I have here, and then one of the 2 balmy blues. I have 2 of them, so this one, see, I can just pull out some of the balmy blue, but I have another one that is loose, and so it's one of them that is running around in my box, coming unrolled, which is really annoying. So I started keeping the clear on, and that has worked really well for me. Okay, so we're going to make a bow, and I'm just going to go through this once. This is something I learned on YouTube, so if my instructions aren't crystal clear, you can go on and just type bow maker, and you will see all sorts of videos made to do this. So don't be afraid to just pop on over and listen or watch whatever videos you want until you figure out what it is that you need to do to make the bow work. I am left-handed, so I probably do things in reverse to what a right-handed person would do, though I did learn from the right-handed videos. So I'm going to take I need to grab some lengths of the linen. I will tell you that these bows, having made bunches of them for the holiday cards that have been sent out, that I had a problem with thickness. And if I'm going to give out cards by hand, I don't worry. If I am going to be mailing, I worry about the thickness test. And I have actually stolen from my husband 2 of his round weights. They're 6 pounds each. So I take the 2 of them, and I take whatever pile of cards that might be too thick, and I sandwich them between paper pumpkin chipboard and put the weights on top and let them sit overnight. So that way they get as thin as possible, and I don't just do one. If I have 10 cards, I put all 10 cards together and let them squish down with the weight. So I'm going to go ahead with the collection of threads here. So again, I have 2 of the Tahitian Tide, a white, a Daffodil Delight dark, and 2 of the linen threads. So I wrap from behind toward me. I cross the right side over the top of the left side. I take a check. I look at all of my little pieces. I don't need them to be even, but I do need them to be long enough for their job. The right one is got to be longer than the left one. The left one is going to go underneath. And then it's going to be the one that goes over the top. So notice how much shorter it is than the right. I kind of think that's a little too short, so I'm going to undo my crossover. And I'm going to get it a little bit longer. Cross it over again. And I like that length better. It's still not super long. So now I've got the left that went over the top, and the right is sitting here, and it is going to come over. And then I'm going to take the thumb, the right thumb, and it's going to push the whole set through. And then I'm going to center this part in the middle, and I'm going to slowly tighten it up. So whatever side is the shortest, if I don't like this, I would just completely undo it and start over, but I'm going to just let it be as it is. You can fluff the little bow elements, the round parts of the bow. The way this particular bow maker works, you cannot change the length of the bow loops. The loops, when you pull, if I pull on this white, it actually makes the other side shorter. So that's all you can do, is control the loop sizes. Because it's shared, you just pull back and forth until you get a size that you like. I'm going to take this away. And then, of course, as I was making my bow, you can see there's some linen thread pieces, and I just let them be. And then I go ahead and trim off. Usually what I do to trim is I pull everything down together. I don't even need them to be exactly the same. I like there to be some variation. And then you have to do some tugging and some fluffing until it's exactly the way you want it. So I've got that side of the bow. If I want the blue to show, and then this side is not as good. This side looks a little bit off kilter to me, so I will be using the other side. And I think I want these blue, the Tahitian Tide, to show, so I'm going to pull them forward. And if I want this white, the Daffodil Delight Dark is tucked into the white, so I'm going to separate them. So it's just kind of a fussing thing. Don't expect your bow to look perfect. They pretty much all need to be worked until you like them. You can even like rotate things around. I see the white. I want to even that up. That is the final bow. And here's the one that I made earlier with the light Daffodil Delight. So that concludes that demo. Have fun with that. I do have a video, I haven't made it live yet, that also goes through the bow making. It's more for the non-paper pumpkin folks. So that you will see up as well, and you could look at that one. And it's not up yet, but I will be putting it up right after I put this up live. The next thing I want to share is the cuts. I did take this full sheet, and I told you that I had measured. You watched me measure with a block, and I've made this full length and cut this one off. It has quite a bit more white than the other side, and so I have not done it to the other two, but I like the way this cut works. And then the other cut, again, I didn't have to do a lot because I've already got a ton of designs, so you could still take this way further than what I have taken. So then I took one of the pieces and I cut it into 3, and then took the middle and cut a little bit off so that there's some green showing in between each one. So that is a fun thing to do. And then I have done one of the cards has a solid blue, and you all know about the white core and using whatever embossing folder you like. I just chose one of the basics, and pretty much any of the embossing folders will work. It's just whatever you want. If you want, like in my case, going with a non-florally or non-leafy design takes it away from being so florally. So I will start with, oh, and then before I move on, I've added 2 cardstock, Pebbled Path, and Garden Green is the only colors I've added. I haven't even done any with a white base, though I have white, and I will show a couple of white in my photography. I have not even done any white base pictures, so I need to get a couple of those. All right, so then for bling. So I talked about trim, I talked about embossing, some of the special cuts. I want to, in a moment, I'll show you that. So a variety of different trims. There's the 2023 to 25 in color dots has Pebbled Path and Wild Wheat, but I am using that as the yellow. And then I've grabbed the classic matte dots. The gray ones work just fine with the Pebbled Path. There's Festive Pearls. This is a web exclusive. I'm not sure. I haven't checked to see if it's available. The other 2 are part of the annual catalog and are available. So there's some gloss, shiny gold. There's loose silver sequins if you want to do some coloring using the blends. This is a great one. This is annual catalog. They're on clearance right now, is one of my favorites. I have 2 collections of these, and they are for Everything Fancy sequins. They are normally $15, and they are now on clearance for $6, and they have blue, green, and pink. So for this set of cards, the blue and the green will work, and you've got a pearl. You have rhinestones, like an AB rhinestone, gold, silver, a variety of greens, and then the blue, you have the same pearl, rhinestone, silver, gold, and then blue sequins and blue hexagons. So very nice. A great deal if you want to grab them. Don't forget that what comes with the set are these lovely blue, and they are not colored behind, so they will pick up, I noticed, whatever color you have them on. So notice on the green, if you put them on something that's not blue, they will look less blue. And they are called a rose cut, which is really beautiful. The last piece that I grabbed, let's see if I find the container. I have this pile of stuff over here. There are, in a puck, little daisies, and I'm going to grab, so what this is my little selection of the variety of 3 of each of the different blings that I have shown you. I am looking once more for the daisies, but see these little daisies? These are like a rubbery daisy, and it's cut super thin. And if you look at this floral element, these fit on each of the floral elements perfectly. Or if you want to, say that blade of grass, you want a taller one. So I grabbed 3, a white one and 2 yellows, to be able to put on. Even with the other bling, I think you could add these and they'll just look like they're part of the design of the background, and I just think they are very sweet. So don't forget those if you have them. The cheerful daisies is also a great set that has some die cuts that would go very nicely with this. Again, I only chose the Dainty Delight for those 2 dies, the long green one as well as the vellum dandelion looking one. There's also pastel adhesive backed sequins that have gold. Love the natural adhesive backed sequins for the gold and or the white. There's the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots in the gold that would go lovely. I think that gives lots of options. There's also the iridescent pearls now that replace the regular pearls before, as well as the rhinestones. So on that note, I want to show my simple stamping that I made. Made 3 of them. The first 2, this is the color that you get with the ink spot. It is Pebbled Path. And so I did the dandelions there's the single dandelion fluff and then the whole dandelion, and I actually put the 2 fluffs on with the dandelion and stamped it rotating like I always do. And then this shows that wonderful font. I just think that this is very modern looking and it really appeals to me. Don't know what it is, but I really like it. Something about it. And we get 3 of them, and they're very large. So that was a bit of a challenge for me, having to deal with large sentiments. So the labels are quite large. All right, so on the back of this one, I did a very simple wishing you all the best. You could take this strip, cut it out, and put it on one of the blue cards if you wanted, but I just left this as is, and then I trimmed it down, and I did some photography with this side. Then I took the larger floral element from the stamp set, and I took 2 markers. Again, for the marker sale, I went through all of my markers, and I think I had to buy 1 set for 3 markers. I think they were the brights because they're the ones I use the most, and all of my other markers that I got in 2018 all still work, including these 2. So I created this very cute background with Hello Friend rotating, and then I colored the top and the bottom and just rotate that around and have come up with this lovely background. So the photography I've done is mostly taking these 2 backgrounds. I have not done anything with this one yet. It's not to my liking. I would cut it out, I think, if I were to use it. Officially, for me, I think this is too low. It needed to be up maybe a ½ an inch. So I did photography with these. This is actually one of the ends of the dandelion fluff, as I call it. So I did some photography, and we will get into, we're going to go right in to doing some layouts for you. again, I've already got the photography done. So we will do some designs. I believe I trimmed this one down. Yeah. So these are just nice. You can easily just put a colored background. This particular one I did use, we'll use our new bow that we made. So whichever Hello Friend you like, I tend to like it this way with this Hello Friend being in the lower quadrant, and I also like that that one is straight up. So if I take my bow and I put it off to the side, and then from all of these elements, you can just pick and choose what elements you want. Don't forget that you've got 3 gold elements as well as the 3 large piece elements that I cut into 2. So we're going to be grabbing those bits and pieces. And then we also have our 3 oversized sentiments. So I did want to share the color difference. There's always the color difference. Here is the difference. This is a matte gray. So you'll have to decide if that bothers you, because you have some gold. Like, I think that this particular one, I am not as bothered by its color. If I pop it up and I add some stuff around it and I put maybe some gold and I add a bow, it's going to be distracting enough that I don't feel it is necessarily a problem having the warmer white. So you'll have to make that decision. Get out my temporary pop-ups that I make. So I like that I can actually, this sentiment is a little bit on the high end for me. I'd like to bring it down, so if I use my fishtail and I move it in a little bit, then I can add a bow. Very nicely. That one has gray, so I would take the gray dots, and that would be a nice simpler card. On this one over here, I've never actually done 2 at the same time. There's this single floral element here that I really like, and it can just tuck behind. It can be popped up, and then there's floating around here, I have a vellum dandelion. And then if you are still not satisfied, I have a small sprig that I cut off of part of the long sprig. I need to see which way this goes. So you can just have it peeking out the top and trim it down exactly how you would want it. And then that looks cute. And then I'm going to put on this one. We'll do the yellow. And in my photography, some of them are fancier, where I put more 2 and 3 groupings. All right. All right, where did the yellow go? Here it is. I purposefully de-stick these, the ones that I use, and that's why I stick them in the cup so that I keep track of them. I have the problem of forgetting to keep track of them, and then I get less and less and less of them as I do my photography. So those are 2 great designs on the Hello Friend. There's also, we're going to take the Hello Friend that I put on the circle. So I'm going to take Hello Friend. I really like this particular flower. tucked in front and behind. Like I said, I kind of de-sticky them. And then for the bow, I really like, I made for that ombre, the balmy blue ombre, I just made it a knot. And it can just sit right there. I could, if I want, move this around wherever I want it to be. To me, since I want this flower to nest around it, you could choose to put the bow across that way so it looks like it's tied around the stem. And then I already showed over here how the rectangle, again, these are for me very large focal elements that I am not used to using. Sentiments are usually not so large in my world, so it's kind of been fun. And again, you have to decide if the difference in the whites bothers you. I tend to like to make a triangle. I like to tuck my bling in corners of things, but there really aren't corners with the way the floral elements work, so I'm just trying to find nice natural little areas for them to tuck into. So that's what I would do, and of course I'm already seeing new designs that I haven't photographed, so hopefully I will remember. Okay, so now I want to bring out this is full size. I have not trimmed it down. I think I am going to trim it down for you because I do want to, like I said, I hadn't done anything with a white mat, so this will only take a second. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so on the white, since I already have the yellow on here, I just want to show you how cute this looks on the blue. And I have done photography on this one. So that's nice, very clean and simple looking. Here, I could try this just for fun. What does this look like? Since we have these lovely big bows, so again, with these bows, when I make them, I try to leave the tendrils long and they're uneven. See how this white is so much longer? But I will leave it long and then I'll trim them all off. Once I find their application, figure out what I want to actually commit them to, then I'll trim them all up. What's also fun, if you want to keep it simple but you want to add more bling, is to just go ahead and put 3 on these very large sentiments, and then you can do 3 on the base. And I think that looks very nice. Still clean and simple. The thing I really like is the curled floral elements that naturally wrap right on around the circle. And then I like adding the little dandelion in vellum. I have 2 of them floating around here, so I would tuck one here and then tuck one right here in this gap. If I wanted to go fancier, I've got this smaller curved garden green, though I don't think with the blue I would want to use this green, but let's just put it on there anyways. And then somewhere is the little light blue. Yep, see, this is what happens is I lose them. I do not see it. And in this case, I really like the Tahitian tied blue bow like that, just tucked in below that particular flower. Just pretend there is a third blue stone. It's lurking around here somewhere. So this looks totally different when you put it on green. So there it is on green. So now let's see, one thing I have not done. Oh, and I didn't do any other color of ink except the coloring the stamps with the yellow and green markers. I just think that this pebbled path is just perfect. So how about, let's figure out what we want to do with wishing you all the best. I really like with the wishing you all the best. I like having this little dandelion off at an angle. I would center this and one thing I didn't create was a gold bow. The 1/8 combo trim, silver and gold, is still available. So there's just a cute design. And again, I would just do a simple gold 1/8 bow around right on top of the dandelion's stem. Now let's see. Using this smaller green, I would wrap it around, but I want it to pop up. Nestle in the dandelion. And then there's another simple floral. If I can find it. Here it is. So you have the gold single dandelion, and I don't even think that's a dandelion. Yeah, I guess it is. That's the right kind of a leaf for it. And in this case, I would want get back here. And I think that looks very cute. Again, I think any embossing folder with some sanding paper or a sanding block, which is what I use. I got my sanding block at the Dollar Tree long ago, and it has never worn out. Okay, so now I need this green because I want to put together the lovely scene. You could emboss these 3 panels with any kind of generic texture. Timber 3D would be really cute. I have that set aside. And then let's do the round Hello Friend. Add these little guys behind. And then put the circle over the top. I know you can do the circle all the way around. I have not done that. And I really love on this with the sky, adding the baker's twine. So this set comes with a box, and I believe the box is configured to hold 9 cards. So depending on how you work it, you could end up with doing a box set as a gift. Oh, that's really cute. I like that a lot. I really like the garden green, and I don't have a photo of that, so hopefully I remember. Here is, if you're really wanting this to be built up, here is another, if I can get to it, another dandelion bit. I would probably have to cut off the stem to have it peeking. You know, if I put it here, that's where I have it in mind. I actually don't even mind if part of the stem shows. There you go, just a little added element. And then probably in this case, I would like these blue. And see how pretty they are on the white? They definitely have a different look depending on what color they're on. So, if you are not a floral person, I am sorry, you'll just have to think of people who would love the floral elements. I know not everybody likes flowers, but I actually don't even find these very feminine. I find them to be a nice neutral type of flower. They are dandelions after all. So, I did a round one on this. Let's see, I haven't done a rectangle. I don't know if you noticed, but on the bottom of this page, there are these little gold dots. So the gold on gold looks very nice, gives it a little bit more classic look. And if I don't have dots for that, but I would pop that up in the corner. And I would like that as well. Okay, so I haven't done anything with the pebbled path background, and I have not used the pebbled path. I put it on the simple stamping projects, but how does it look behind these? And I like that the pebbled path gives it a more masculine look. And I gotta take a picture of that. Hopefully I remember that. All right, so that is the end of the mix and matching. I talked about all the materials. I did the demo of coloring the trim with blends. What I didn't show you was cutting. I just use these scissors. I take a 12-inch strip. I think I have. And I am not too particular. So again, this is me I've got the clear still on to keep the trim from going crazy and unraveling. I roll it out to about 1 foot. I always cut at an angle in case I end up using the angle. And my trimming technique is just very casual. I start on one side. I trim this. I can trim this down into 4ths if I want. And I don't mind if my cuts show. I'm just wanting kind of a chunky handmade look. And I love it when it frays. The more fraying, the better. So I'm sorry I forgot to do this earlier. So that is actually 3 demos, all focusing on the bows. So I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. The showcase at the end will possibly miss some of these designs, and so you can flip back and forth if you need to. If there's something that I made that you want to see more closely, you can just stop the filming. I think this is a very good kit. I love that it came as a gift pack with the plastic and the wrap around the plastic. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them here on this video. I love to interact with everybody and get everybody's input. If I missed anything very exciting to do with this set, do let me know. Again, I don't really look ahead of time at what people are doing or what the kit looks like. I just like to open it up and just start from scratch with my own thoughts and go from there. I hope everybody has a great holiday season. This is a few days before Christmas. Everybody stay safe if you're traveling. And as always, thanks for watching.